A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a bold move that has sparked controversy, President Donald Trump has declared a war on what he calls the woke culture infiltrating museums across the United States, with a particular focus on the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. The president's discontent with the portrayal of American history has led him to order a review of exhibits, claiming they focus excessively on the negative aspects of the nation's past, particularly slavery. Trump's comments, made on his Truth Social platform, reflect a broader agenda to reshape the narrative surrounding America's historical legacy. He stated, "The museums throughout Washington, but all over the country are, essentially, the last remaining segment of woke. The Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Nothing about success, nothing about brightness, nothing about the future." This declaration comes on the heels of the White House's announcement of an extensive review of Smithsonian exhibitions, aiming to promote a vision of excellence that highlights historically accurate, uplifting, and inclusive portrayals of America's heritage. Critics argue that this initiative is part of an ongoing effort by the Trump administration to rewrite history, particularly in relation to the contributions of marginalized groups. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has also been vocal in this regard, advocating for the restoration of Confederate names at military bases and the re-erection of Confederate monuments, including the controversial Reconciliation Monument in Arlington National Cemetery. Hegseth justified the expenditure of taxpayer money, stating, "We recognize our history. We don't erase it." Trump's insistence on altering the narrative surrounding slavery and other historical events has drawn ire from historians and civil rights advocates alike. Many argue that the president's approach ignores the brutal realities of slavery, which saw millions of African Americans subjected to inhumane conditions. The legacy of slavery continues to impact Black communities today, contributing to ongoing economic and educational disparities. Furthermore, Trump's assertion that the Smithsonian does not feature success stories or forward-looking narratives is met with skepticism. Critics point out that history museums are inherently focused on the past, yet they also highlight progress and achievements within that context. Trump's call to eliminate discussions of slavery from museum exhibits is seen as an attempt to sanitize history, presenting a version that aligns with his political agenda. This is not the first time Trump has attempted to influence historical education. In 2020, he announced the formation of the 1776 Commission, aimed at promoting a patriotic education that downplays systemic racism in the United States. The commission's report, released shortly before Trump left office, was criticized by historians for its lack of scholarly rigor and its dismissal of decades of historical research. As the debate over the portrayal of American history continues, Trump's latest initiative raises important questions about who gets to define the narrative and what implications this has for future generations. The push to reshape museum exhibits reflects a broader cultural clash over how history is understood and taught in the United States. The outcome of this battle may have lasting effects on how Americans view their past and the lessons they take into the future. As the Smithsonian prepares for the impending review, the nation watches closely, anticipating the potential changes that could redefine the way history is presented in one of its most prestigious institutions. The stakes are high, and the implications of this cultural war extend far beyond the walls of museums, influencing the national conversation about race, history, and identity. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.